All right. Well, it is after 10 o'clock. So thanks to those attendees who were here. And we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. I'm going to first just intro our event for you. So here is another really short PowerPoint where I will again share that with everyone. Okay, so this is our second regional event for Southeast Ohio. Again, welcome and thanks for joining us. Here's our agenda. This is going to be much different from our first event if you came to that one. We had a whole lot of program in that one. So here we're going to just have a short intro, which is this presentation we're doing now. We are going to have a tech spotlight where Tanner gets to talk about some technologies that he uses in his life and in some cases is hoping to use very soon. And then really the vast majority of our hour will be your questions or comments and answers. That is intentional. Again, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what technologies you may be using. We want to hear if you have questions about those, fears, what your experiences are. So be thinking about those if you haven't yet. Okay, we do want to mention our virtual presence. If you want to know more about our program or other events that we're hosting, the best place to go is our website, which is ohiotechambassadors.org. We are also on social media on both Facebook and Instagram, and we do have a YouTube channel. So on any one of those three platforms, you should just be able to type in Ohio Tech Ambassadors and find us very, very easily. So Facebook and Instagram, we post about these events, and where possible, we put links to them. YouTube is important because we are recording all of our events, and those are posted on our YouTube channel in case maybe you know folks who missed today's event because they couldn't be here for some reason. That will be available on YouTube for them to go and take in later. As you may already know, we've split the state up into 5 regions for this grant. So we've got 5 tech ambassadors, and Tanner Huff is with us this morning to be our host. So this is for the Southeast region, which is all the green counties you see in the bottom right hand of the state there. All right, briefly, we're going to mention our event schedule, and then we're going to get going and let Tanner start talking about some technology. So we are a little more than halfway through our event schedule. That started with our kickoff event in January. We held 5 meetings, 1 per region, through February and March. We had a special event last week that we called Tech Ambassadors Listen, which was structured a lot like this one, a lot of Q&A. And today starts the second round of our events. So you can see we will have an event, 1 event per week for the next 4 weeks after this one. And then we'll have a statewide wrap-up event on May 24th. All right, Tanner, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Tanner, before you start, I cannot get closed captioning turned on.
Okay. There. Should be on. All right. So let's set up what we're about to watch. We're going to have a couple videos during this tech spotlight. But Tanner, do you want to just sort of set the stage for the first video that we're going to see? This is a technology that Tanner is investigating using for himself.
Yeah. Yeah, the technology that I am investigating on using is called ACESIGHT, ACESIGHT, and what it is it's a magnifier that you can, like in the video, the person will say that you can maybe walk with it, but it is actually able to let you walk with the magnifier because you'll be able to see like what it looks like in the like video. But I tried a different magnifier in Columbus a couple years ago, which is more like a virtual reality headset, which blocks your vision like completely, other than straight ahead. So you can't look down, you can't look to the side. Of the first type I tried, which I don't like, and that's why I'm not like giving its name right off. But for like just sitting and like reading or watching TV or something like that, that one is called Iris Vision. But the experience going up and trying that versus A-Sight was completely different, because we had to go to universal low vision aids for Iris Vision, and that one, standing still, I could see further than with the A-Sight, but standing still, I could not like walk around with it on. And I find that in town in Ironton, that walking around using something would be so beneficial for me to see, especially like when like crossing the street or something like that. So that's why I'm going with the A-Sight, which again is spelled ACEISITHG.
All right, great.
Or
How about you want to let them
GH.
see this now?
Yeah, that
Perfect.
would be good.
All right, I'm going to share our screen, and what you're going to see here is a review that's being done of this device by an independent person on a show called The Blind Life. So this gentleman reviews all kinds of products for folks with visual impairments. And we're going to start this part way in where you get to see what this device looks like and hear him talk about it. All right. Here we go. And we're just going to start this.
So, as I mentioned in the intro, it's a very unique design, the A-Sight. It's not like any other wearable device out there. A lot of the wearable devices out right now cover the eyes completely, and that's not the case with A-Sight here. It's all open. You've got this visor, this clear visor, and everything is open, so you can see everything around you while you're wearing it. So walking around, moving around, seeing what's around you is no problem at all. So we have these interpupillary distance adjustment knobs on the sides here, and that's to adjust the image that's going to work perfectly for you, for your vision, get it lined up, that's going to be the best for you. And then we have three controls on the front here. We have a brightness increase, a brightness decrease, and then the 2D and 3D image button. Now what this does is it actually turns off half the screen when you put it into 2D mode. So it takes away your depth perception, or it takes away that 3D feeling. And that is all the controls on the actual headset. Everything else is done from the control box here, which, as I said before, is also the battery. It's a pretty good sized battery too. You're going to get a long operation time out of this. So let's fire it up and I'll show you guys what she can do. So now, before we get started here, I just want to point out that this particular headset is unique. This one has a video out port, and that is for demonstration purposes. This is how we are getting our side-by-side view here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. The normal headset devices don't actually have that feature. So I'll just go over some of the basic functions here. Of course, we have our zoom. And I'm going to zoom in on my camera here like I usually do. And it is a step zoom, so if I click the button, it zooms in. There's the microphone. Or I can hold the button down and it will quickly zoom in and zoom out. And I get a little indication of the minimum and maximum zoom level. So that is the maximum zoom. Take a look at the front of the camera. There's the lens. You can't even see the lens all in one shot. Now we also have a finder button. If I long press on the button on the side here, zooms out, and I've got a little reticle on the front. And then I can place it onto something else, like the manual here, and then when I let go, it zooms in on that. And there we get a shot of the focus. So it is an autofocus. You can lock the focus. If you were working on something you didn't want the focus to keep going in and out, you can do that. So since we do have the manual and the quick start guide here, we'll go ahead and look at that to demonstrate for reading purposes. So we can zoom in. This does have different color options. So we have inverted, black and white, then we cycle through all of our different colors, and they work pretty well. Then there's a dedicated button for color, so just to jump back and forth. You can set favorite colors, so if there's a certain color you really like to use, you can program that. That way you don't have to jump through all the different color options. Then one of the other main features is you can put an outline on objects. So if I click on the outline button, it puts this hard outline. There you go, there's a good shot of my hand and the remote next to it. And then if we click the arrow buttons here, we can change the size of the outline, make it thicker or thinner. And we have a couple different types of outlines available. So these can help you detect the edges of objects. So like if I look at the door over there, I can detect the edge of the door and the edge of the wall. Just enhances the edges of objects.
All right, I'm going to pause that for a second. Tanner, were there other features of the ACE site that you wanted folks to see here?
Well, when he the reading mode, if you could put it on that.
Okay, I think we're probably going to get an ad here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'll just describe the reading mode. What the reading mode will let you do, and it was kind of weird, like using it this way. Well, it would look weird using it because what you're able to do is like freeze the picture to what you're looking at, and you would move your head, so you would have to have like head control and be able to like move your head around the image of whatever you're looking at. But I have noticed like with other products, that they don't have a feature like that where you can pause the or pause the screen and look at whatever you're doing just with your head. You normally would like be able to only like put the image in and zoom in and out
Okay.
to like get the perfect size for the image to be able to like scan your eyes over it.
So let me ask this. There was one thing, and this probably reveals a little bit about me. The first application of being able to sort of capture an image with those things
Yeah.
that I thought of was, you know, you're out with a group of people at a restaurant and they give you the menus, right?
Yeah.
And you order and they take the menus away, and then somebody decides they want dessert. We're going to be like, Tanner, can you call that menu back up and read the dessert menu to us?
Yeah, I actually yesterday in Cincinnati wish I had went up to Columbus a lot sooner, because I actually ran into that situation
How about that?
yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, go ahead.
Where I was trying to look at the menu, but someone else had to read what the stuff was, because the lines weren't thick enough for me to like be able to see like good enough without holding it up right in front of my face like I usually do. So the A site would be so helpful in situations like that.
Absolutely. That's a great practical one. So I'm just going to read to you. Someone that I think Tanner knows typed a comment here in the questions. This is from Lori Eastham. So she says, please let Tanner know that an invoice and a W-9 has been received for the A site this morning. I'm working on getting it approved through his self-waiver today.
Cool. So
that means there might be this device in your near future, and maybe we'll
yeah.
have to revisit you actually using it. How about that?
Yeah, because they usually do the committee meetings on Fridays. So if she can send that today, I might have it here in the next like 2 or 3 weeks.
That will be excellent.
As soon as that.
Good. I'll tell you what, let's do this. If you're ready, how about we switch gears? This morning, we're going to do really, really high tech, right? Which we just did. That's a super high tech device. And we're going to go all the way to the other end of the spectrum now and talk about something that is extremely low tech. But that does not mean that it's not helpful, right? Assistive technology devices don't have to have batteries. They don't have to plug into an outlet. Right? Any device that can help a person with the normal, routines of life, we consider assistive technology. All right, so I'm going to show this little video of a low-tech device that Tanner uses. Let's see if this works. Oh. One moment here.
Hey guys.
Let me see. I think I might have to try to move this video. Either that or, tell you what, let's do this. All right. Can everyone see that video?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Tanner again, and I'm going to show you the utensil cleaner I use. It'll help with not having to take much time to clean utensils and like bowls, like I said, and it'll be actually easier to do it if you have a mobility problem. And here we go. First, they recommend putting soap on the top and on the inside here, and then all you do is swipe whatever you're using through the fingers here, or like up here to get them clean. And you can even do bowls like this, and it pretty much gets stuff clean right off without much like effort.
All right. Hopefully everyone could see that. Anything you want to add on the low tech stuff? We have some other examples from a visit I got to make. That was from a couple of weeks ago. I actually got to visit Tanner in his apartment, and we actually took some photos of some other types of more low tech devices. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you could show the knives, that picture of the knives close up, and then I'll talk about them. And like,
okay, sure. And so I've got all these pictures in a we could just kind of cycle through them.
yeah, that would be good.
Right. Can everyone see those?
I want to talk about a couple knives that my mom had actually found, which helped me so much with cutting, especially like bread or cutting stuff that is like too long for a normal typical knife to use or to cut, and what advantages these knives have. But first, I want to talk about the dishwashing spray that I was using in the video. As you can see it on the screen, it is on the upper left corner of the screen. But what it is Dawn dishwashing spray that you don't have to use a lot of effort to like get stuff cleaned. And I like that because you could even put it in the sink. You could put stuff in the sink and just have them sit for like a minute. And if you have like mobility problems where you can't push hard enough to like scrub, it does all the work for you. So like the first time I used it, I had made pasta and left the pasta in too long in the pot too long, like cooking, so it got stuck on the on the pot, and it just like wiped it out, like it wasn't even stuck to the pot. But back to the knives, as you can see on the knives that are in the bottom third of the screen, they have the handles that are straight or that are angled, but they're behind the blade and to the top. So you actually hold the knives above the blades, which help with preventing injury if you are using one hand, because you're not anywhere close to the blades. But if you use two hands, that will help you be able to cut better, because it'll give you force above, just like just like cutting something with a saw. You want something higher, but where it's behind the blade to get the force of it. And they are just like unique, like low-tech knives that I use to to cut stuff every day, and I keep them like within arm's reach to use. These are the only two knives that I practically use in an everyday situation, because of that fact of not being able to, or not having the risk of cutting myself while cutting.
All right. Awesome. We may cut over and show some more devices here in a little bit. I figure maybe we should see if anyone has a question or a comment they would like to ask. So remember, if you do, you can either type those in the Q&A, or you can raise your hand and allow us to promote you to a panelist, where we can have you turn your audio and video on and ask a question live. Just give a second for anyone to do that who wants to. Anyone have a question at this point? All right. I'll tell you what, while we're waiting and letting people think about that, we do have a couple of polls. So let's just take a second, and we'll run through our first poll. If you've been to other events of ours, you may have seen this one already. But for those of you especially who have not joined us on other events, I'm going to launch this poll. So we would very much like your feedback on this. This is about barriers that people experience with who have developmental disabilities in their life. So we want your opinion on both of these things. First, what is the biggest barrier to people with developmental disabilities attending events like the one that we're having here this morning? You know, this event really is for those people. Second question, what's the biggest barrier to people with developmental disabilities just using technology in their lives, right? And those could be high-tech devices, or those could be low-tech devices. Okay, so your feedback, what you think about both of those questions is valuable to us. We're collecting the information that we get on folks' polls from all of these events to sort of combine them together. So real quickly, again, just two questions. What is the biggest barrier to people with developmental disabilities attending events like the one that we're having? Two, what is the biggest barrier to people with developmental disabilities using technology in their lives? Okay, so thank you for those of you who are giving us your feedback on that. We'll give it just another second. And it looks like we have someone that we know who's raising their hand and might like to come on and ask a question or make a comment. Oh, look who it is. It is another one of our tech ambassadors, Nathan Turner from Holland, Ohio, up in the complete opposite side of the state from where we are here. There he is. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. If I'd have known I was going to be making an appearance, I would have worn the shirt. I apologize for that. But,
No worries.
But great job, Tanner. My
Thank
question to you is, did you reach out to your SSA for waiver supports for any of the rocker knives or any of the low tech that you use?
Well, I was going to get more into that question like in a second about the like utensil cleaner, because I had actually found that on YouTube on another YouTuber's channel called Freaking Reviews, where he reviews as seen on TV, or he has like looked on Amazon lately for stuff, and I usually watch all of his new videos, and he actually did that last year, or it was either at the beginning of last year or at the end of 2019, and I had actually reached out to my SSA to get the utensil cleaner, and shockingly, the like something that cheap, because in Freaking Reviews video it was like $40, but I got it for cheaper than that, like at the time, which was at the end of last year, and it actually has changed my life in how stuff is cleaned, because I've actually found new uses for cleaning stuff that he actually didn't go over. So like you can use it to scrub like you can use it to scrub spatulas and stuff that you typically wouldn't be able to fit in the, like where I was running the knife through. You can actually scrub that stuff on the upper part, and it does just as good of a job with the upper part, with spatulas, with like, it's even been useful for pots and pans.
That's great.
And for like for things like storage containers.
How about
As long as it fits around or down over the fingers or the like brushes, you can like scrub it.
That is awesome. I'll tell you what, isn't it interesting that sometimes some of the things that are the least expensive, I mean, I think the last you and I looked at that, Tanner, it was under $20 on Amazon.
Yeah.
You can find that right on Amazon and just pay for that, like $19.99. And
Yeah.
as it's something that you would use every day,
Yeah.
made a pretty big difference.
That's
Yeah,
great creativity and problem solving, Tanner.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks.
Nate, appreciate you
And-
coming on and asking that question. If anyone else has a question, feel free to raise your hand and we will get you on screen here like we did Nathan. All right, well, we will wait. Feel free at any point. You can type questions in Q&A or raise your hand. We'll try to keep tuned into that. But you've got some other devices and things that we got sort of pictures of in your
Yeah.
home that we can also share with folks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They like, trying to think. Do you want to do the picture of the shoelaces?
Sure.
Like,
I'll tell you what,
bring
I'm
that
going to
up.
share that screen again, and then we will do just that. So let's see. There we are. Can everyone see that?
Yeah, you might like the color might not be like good where my boots are black and the laces are, but I'll describe it to you. In the middle third, those are the laces, and what it has on them to help and is considered technology to me is a button where I can like grab the laces with my less dominant hand and pull back on that, like on the piece with the button, and it'll basically, what they are elastic shoelaces that you don't have to tie. All that you do is like with like a pair of boots or something like with eyelets up on your ankles is just run the laces like around the eyelets and or the loops on boots, but that helps with speed with someone with dexterity or mobility problems, be able to not have to ask somebody to tie their laces for them if they have never figured out a good way to tie their laces, or if they can't because of the dexterity problem. And again, all that I do is like loop them in the hooks of the boots and just pull back on that on the button, and it'll like tie them. They're sometimes called speed laces for that reason. And it has like changed my life because I had some years ago, probably 20 years ago, on a pair of sneakers that were the same like elastic part, but you still had to tie them, or you could like pull them, like when they were tied, you could pull the tongue out to be able to like slip them on. But after that, I had never found those elastic laces until looking unusually at Dick's Sporting Goods in the running shoes, because they sometimes call shoelaces for athletes speed laces too, because they, as these show, they need them to be loose but like stretchy for running and quick to put on and not like come loose on them. And these, like, I've used a set of the ones from Dick's on my other older boots for, gosh, probably 10 years. And now on my new ones, like, I found the elastic laces again that look like, that aren't thick like special laces. So they look like a normal pair of laces now.
That's awesome. So I think there's a couple really important things about that. One, they don't look abnormal. They look just like laces people would wear in any shoes. Two, not all technology has to be new in order to be helpful.
Yeah.
Right? That is just maybe a tiny little twist on something that's been around, like you said, for 20 years.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
and I actually found on Freaking Review's website, he actually did another video that I might get another product off of his, like, after watching his videos. But it's a manual, like, pop bottle opener, and it can be used for like the glass top or the glass bottles with the metal tops, or even for like a plastic Sprite bottle. You can even use it for those. So like if you don't have the hand strength to turn, you can, like, there's a lot of different gadgets out there to help, like, mobility problems. And
Awesome.
like, you could, if I like had my SSA check into it, I mean, it's as cheap as the Utensil Cleaner is.
Okay. I think we have someone who would like to ask a question live here. So let's do that. This is our friend George. I think George has visited us on another event, at least one. Welcome, George. Were you able to turn your camera and your microphone on? Gonna try asking our guest to unmute here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that I think George might be the person who typed a question in our Q&A about an app called Voice It. If he can get his camera and microphone working, we'll let him talk about whatever that was live. But I'll just go ahead and mention, if you didn't happen to see the Q&A, he had mentioned an app called Voice It, which is a speech recognition voice or app. And I think it's specifically for people who have a unique speech pattern.
Hi.
There we go. We've at least got audio. Hi, George.
Hi. I want to figure out who makes that program for me because I want to figure out how the program works. I want to know how the app works on my computer.
Oh, you want to work on your computer?
Yeah, but I want to put the app on my computer because I want to talk to people on my phone.
So were you asking about the Voice It app?
Yeah,
And this might be a way for you to use voice to text on your
Yeah.
computer?
yeah,
Okay.
but I want to know how to work.
Are you saying, George, you want to see if you can get this app for the computer? To
Yeah,
me, when I took a look at
Yeah.
this, I took a very brief look while
Yeah.
Tanner was speaking just a minute ago. This is not an app that I'm familiar with personally.
Yeah, it's not an app I'm
I know,
familiar
but
with
I
either.
want something like that on my computer because I want to talk to people on my phone.
Okay, so so would this help you maybe send text messages or emails,
No,
things like that?
I want to talk to people on my phone on Gmail.
Okay. So I think maybe what I read real briefly was this app is very useful for people with unique speech, for it to learn those specific speech patterns,
Yeah,
and to be able to work with maybe digital assistants like Alexa or Google Home, to allow people who might normally have trouble issuing voice commands, right?
yeah,
To be able to do that.
yeah,
That sound like what you were hoping to do, George?
yeah.
We can see you now. Hi.
Because I want to talk to people on Gmail.
On Gmail
Yeah,
and on video, maybe like today?
yeah.
Okay. Hey, that I would love to look into that app some more. That sounds like a super
And I want someone to. I want someone who could teach me about that.
to teach you how to use it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
who I could contact.
Well, that's a really relevant point to make, right? You know,
Yeah.
we can have technology, but if we're not 100% sure how to use it,
Yeah,
it may not be as useful as it could be.
yeah, but
So
I want some help.
Sure. So the first thing, and for anyone else who's listening out there, you know, if you're either considering what technology might help you, or you already have some things and you need some help learning it,
Yeah,
one of the first places to go is to your SSA. And you
I
remember
will.
earlier,
I will email my SA, but I want to know how much money to
Mhm.
buy that.
Well, your SSA should be able to help you with that. And here's the key point I want to make about that. Not
Yeah,
all SSAs are technology experts, right?
yeah,
But their role is to be able to help connect you with people who do have some expertise on technology,
Okay.
right? So there might be a little help we can provide you,
Yeah.
but we might be interested in talking to your SSA to try to help find maybe people with specific expertise on that app, since it's not one that we really know a lot about.
Because I call people I call people on Gmail, but some some people kinda doing what I say.
Yeah, I can understand, that could be frustrating. So, an app that could help you would be really good. So thank you,
Yeah.
George, for coming on. We're gonna send you back to being an attendee, but we really appreciate you coming on and asking that question. And that's a great app, Voice It. So let's maybe Tanner and I will look into that one.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
Did you want to talk about any of the other assistive tech in your home, Tanner?
Trying to think of trying to think. Oh, duh. The 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 dish strainer that is also a shelf. That is a great piece of, like, it's to me technology, because it helps me, like, it helps me with having to, or with, like, with straining the dishes after I wash them, and not have, like, a dish strainer on the counter taking
your
up
counter
space
space.
that I use for the new wave induction cooktop, which I had done a tech spotlight in the first event.
Right.
Well,
so if anyone missed that, you can always go to our YouTube channel and check out Tanner's first event where he talked about that cooktop.
yeah.
Real cool.
And it also, like, you can fold the dividers down to make a shelf. So if you, like, are living in an apartment, or if you are, like, if you're living in a house that you can, like, reach up above the sink to put away stuff, that will be good for, like, double purpose use, being
Right.
like one section being a dish strainer and the other being a shelf, or vice versa.
And
Or
people could, I think, see that you were putting your dishes up on
Yeah.
that shelf in your video.
yeah.
Hey, we've
And
we got someone who's asking a question of Tanner here. Let's make sure
Okay.
you get a chance to answer this. We're just a couple minutes away from 11. By the way,
Oh.
as we always do, we'll keep going if you have more questions. So this question comes from Jacinta. Does Tanner use a smartwatch to monitor health events? If so, can he talk about his experience?
Yes, I have actually been using a Apple Watch for, let me think, this year it'll be 3 years old. So
Great.
it was the Series 4 that I got, or that I got gifted for Christmas by my mom and dad, and that has helped me, not necessarily with, like, health events, but I can put, like, like events on the reminders or calendar to like go off at a certain time. But what I like for like like when like a nurse is coming, or like if you need to take your medicine or stuff like that, you can set alarms on it or like reminders on it.
So that's interesting. You don't use it for things like stress monitoring or heartbeat or.
Well,
I think you can, can't you?
yeah, I actually do sometimes. Like I've got it set to where if I'm walking and my heart rate gets higher, it'll alert me just so that I'm watching that.
It's 11 o'clock.
Aspect of my life, and it has a ECG feature where if you are like someone that has like problems with your heart, or like have like known family history of that, you can like put your finger on what is called the digital crown, and it'll like connect the circuit to where you'll be able to it'll be able to read your heart rate and track all that. And it also, what I use it for is if I'm like in my apartment like I am right now, and if no one's here, just like now, if I would fall, it would alert the like EMS or fire department to my exact location for safety reasons, to like keep me safe when I'm alone. And like even if I'm like not alone, if I would fall or something and the person I'm with couldn't help me up, that would trigger like my like watch again if I don't move within a minute, and alert people as well.
Wonderful. All right. Let's see. We do have, just for those of you who are still with us, real quickly, we have one more poll question. That we're going to ask. So this is about helpful technology. Which type of assistive technology below do you feel is most helpful to people with developmental disabilities? So as we probably get ready to say goodbye, if you do have a question, feel free to go ahead and type that or raise your hand. Like I said, we'll stay around longer, but we do want to make sure we get this in before we kind of officially say goodbye to those of you who may have had something else to do at 11 today. So we appreciate your feedback on that. So those are sort of categories of assistive technologies. So which of those do you feel is the most helpful to people with developmental disabilities? All right, while we let that go, I want to make sure that we wish everyone a happy and productive Thursday. We want to thank all of you for coming. Thank our ASL interpreters who've as always, do a great job. The rest of our core team who's helping us put on this webinar today, and especially Tanner. Any last bit of info you want to share with everybody as we say goodbye?
Well, I was just wanting to let everyone know, like I got the info earlier about the A site, or like other stuff like the utensil cleaner and stuff like that, is to like reach out to your SSA and like they are there to help and guide you on like what steps are next. And like for me with the A site, I just sent the info to her. She got in touch with the main company that that makes it, and it's been not even a month since I had went to Columbus to try it, and I'm already gonna be able to possibly get it. So it just it just takes just a little bit of like time and like work for like SSAs to like, they're there to help and like I said, guide you, but they're also there to get products for you and to reach out to companies like mine is doing for me, because of the one company that makes it. And like she's able to like reach out and like to the companies where I may not know what to ask completely, and to get the process going even further than I started it by going up and getting the like info I needed. And it just helps to like reach out to them about anything that you need technology wise or like medical wise, to see if they can get it if your insurance won't, or if you don't have insurance but have the waiver, they could maybe get it without going through insurance.
Yeah, that is a wonderful point.
You may not have it.
SSAs are such a great resource, and that's a great reminder as we wrap up today, that reach out to those folks. They are there for you, and even if they don't know all the answers, they are the folks who go and get the answers.
And something else I just wanted to touch on is where I got the shelf that you saw in the video, or the shelves you saw in the video with the dish drainer.
Mm-hmm.
That was something IKEA had, and it was like you can get stuff like that and like adapt it to your needs. Like they are a wonderful company, and sometimes a cheap company. I got some lights that can be like put on remote controls through a smart outlet that just plugs into the wall, that then other things can plug into, that can be used in conjunction with like remotes. So if you can't push a switch, but could push a button, you can use like smart outlets in conjunction with lights to like brighten your house up or turn stuff on. It doesn't have to be lights. It could be like a fan even that you have turned on with the
Yeah.
out. Or
I think the neat thing about some of those devices too is if you can't manually operate a switch or a button, a lot of those can be voice controlled
yeah,
with your home like assistants, digital assistants.
yeah, and
They'll
those are
provide you
called,
lots and lots of choices.
yeah, and they even have smart bulbs, which can, like George said, be turned on by voice. So you could have a light plugged into the wall, or even a smart bulb in it to be used as a like voice assisted light.
Absolutely. All right. Well, so those are two good wrap up thoughts. One, get in touch with your SSA. Two, visit IKEA. All right. Well, that is going to do it for today. Again, we thank you so much for coming, and thanks to all of us who, the folks who helped put this event on today. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.